Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 108 of Throwin Wrenches podcast. This is Eric.
I'm Daryl.
Welcome to the automotive podcast that saw its shadow and will have more shows for 2026.
On this episode of Throwin Wrenches.
Hey, I need a special BMW wrench. Daryl, can you help me out with that?
No. Robots, not made by Elon.
And a snowplow by any other name. Well, we'll share that later.
All that and more on this episode of Throwin Wrenches.
Oh, yeah. You're mixing it up over there, bud.
Trying.
Yeah. Two turntables? Or is that just a Carhartt zipper?
I think it's whatever the Farm and Fleet knockoff brand is.
Okay.
What is it called? Workin' Sport?
I have some Workin' Sport shirts. They're
not
great.
bad.
Dude, I've had some of them for 20 years, believe it or not.
These are insulated. I think I burned myself in this. It still takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
All right, it's been a while. We apologize for that. But if you want to know more about all of the stuff that keeps us from not making shows, tune into the pre-show. That happens over there, all right? Thanks for listening, and to join the fun of the show, please send us an email at info@thrownwrenches.com. You can post a review on iTunes, and you can be heard all around the world, and also Spotify. And to be fair, Daryl, today, February 5th, 2026, no comments from anybody on Spotify. So, shame on you.
Well, we haven't had a whole lot of new content out there.
That's true.
So.
Shame on us.
Shame on us, maybe. Fool me once. It means we won't get fooled again.
Exactly. Check out everything on YouTube as well. Daryl's been making sure that our SEO is on fleek.
Sure, sometimes. Been kind of lax on that, but this 2027 will be our year.
It's been so long. You may have forgotten about my co-host. I forgot about him. When he came into the house, he scared me tonight.
True.
Yeah. If you don't know Daryl Scott, well, let me tell you a little bit about Daryl Scott. When you surround yourself with classic cars, you keep yourself far away from bleeding-edge tech. He doesn't worry about emissions codes. OBD ports, overrated. New bolts that need a new tool to tighten, those wrenches are not sitting in his virtual cart. The only cart he uses is that tattered and beaten one at O'Reilly.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's the squeaky wheel.
The wheel that goes, yeah,
when you get a car to O'Reilly, you're serious.
Well, thank you for that intro. I'm flattered, I think. If you don't know my co-host, well, the voice is familiar enough. But if you don't recall, after decades of keeping Toyotas running smoothly across central Illinois, well, Eric is practically part machine himself. He's powered solely by caffeine and whatever was in his latest HelloFresh meal kit, which we talked about on the pre-show. He curates the latest motor news so that we don't have to. He's doing us solid, and he serves it up with laser-guided precision, like the machine that he is. He's the AI to my A1. He's Eric Stahl.
It's an A1 steak sauce? What is that?
It is. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Thank you.
By the way, is steak sauce on a really nice grilled steak? Is that heresy?
No, it's never allowed.
Okay.
You can't do that.
That's hardcore. That's a stance.
Salt and pepper. That's it, baby.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So
not even Montreal.
You're a steak sauce. Well, no, Montreal is salt and pepper with some herb.
Okay, so
I will
allow
Montreal. Okay.
Your Honor, let the record state that my client here. No, honestly, I don't mind the A1. Every once in a while, I'll just put a dab on my plate just to be like, do I like this? I don't know. It's one of those things like Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Wash your sister sauce.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I don't know if I like it, so I have to keep trying.
Do you get the sautéed mushrooms?
Always.
Okay. And I will say blue cheese. You throw me some blue cheese towards a hot steak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm down.
Yeah. That's a late addition. I didn't start liking blue cheese till I was maybe my 40s. So.
No, that's a thing. It's a later adult thing. Stinky cheeses.
It's an old man thing.
Your palate's changed. Trust me on that. Oh, man. All right. So our sponsor tonight.
Yes.
It's the same sponsor it's been since episode 1, Fort's Toyota Pekin. Well, if you don't know Fort's Toyota Pekin, they're still there at www.toyota-pekin.com. That's where you find all their inventory of new and used cars. You'll also find all the links to the parts department and the service department. And actually, if you follow the links to the Instagram and the TikTok and the Facebook, you're going to see some cool lifts we're doing there at the store this week. You're going to see some cool... We had a special allocation of Camry SEs. We're down to one of those cars. They just came in like last week. So keep on top of the inventory there. And the new RAV4. Well, listen, folks. Talk about like the biggest release that's coming out in 2026. It's not a movie. it's the RAV4. They're all hybrid. They're all cool, and everybody wants one. So if you want one, check out Forts Toyota in Pekin. They're at 120 Radio City Drive in North Pekin, and they are 15 minutes from anywhere in the Tri-County area. Thanks, Forts Toyota.
Excellent. We also want to say a quick shout-out to our Patreon supporters. If you are a Patreon supporter, well, by golly, you know who you are.
Long-suffering Patreon supporters.
Yes.
Sorry.
Thank you for hanging in there while we gave you some premium content here just before this episode. If you want to know what that entails, well, you get a pre-show. Sometimes it's about car stuff. Sometimes it's about movies. Or in this case, what was it mostly?
Let me scroll up to the old man news that Eric was going through. We talked about Dave Bautista a lot.
Yeah.
We talked about some Steve McQueen.
Aquaman.
Yeah, we talked about kitty sand in your eyeballs, which you said is, what do you call it when you woke up in the morning?
We called them either sleepers, goobers, or what was the other one? Crusties?
That's the pre-show, folks.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of that. People literally sign up for that.
Highbrow. Absolutely. And we need to drop some stuff in the mail like shirts. Hint, hint. That's a reminder for Eric to come up with a T-shirt design.
Yeah, I heard Sarah's going to get on that this next episode.
Yeah, she'll call you.
Yeah, thanks, Patreon, folks. And also iTunes Premium, same thing. iTunes Premium, if you like the iTunes app and you use that for your podcasts, you tune into the premium subscription on there, you can get the pre-shows automatically loaded to your feed. It's pretty awesome. So thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for commenting. And thanks for reviewing. And we're going to move on to the first section of the show. I don't have a sound effects machine because I've given up on whatever this Temu Amazon garbage is that I tried to do over the last couple episodes.
You mean the $7 appliance didn't work? Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah, going on to projects. There you go.
So analog.
Yeah, that's something like that anyway. So projects is where Daryl and I talk about the things we're working on in our garage right now. And currently, it's been negative 15.
It really has been a brutal couple of weeks here in Central Illinois.
I mean, we didn't want to move. I was sick last week. That's why we didn't do a show. And then you had some stuff going the week before that. But honestly, when it's that cold, it's like, I'm just going to stay home tonight, and I'm okay with that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is also while, was it Texas? We had the giant ice the ice
we avoided it.
Through.
This is one of those things like everybody south of us got the worst of it.
Tennessee,
we just got the cold.
Yeah. You feel bad for a lot of chunks of the United States that really got blasted. I know some folks around Nashville got like 2 inches of ice all over everything.
I have a friend in Nashville. I mean, she got flooded 2 years ago, and now she got ice this time.
Bad news. Yeah. So hopefully everybody's kind of dried out, got power restored, and everything's good there. But Eric and I we stayed inside and stayed nice and toasty warm.
We did. So my projects right now, there's not a whole lot to talk about in the garage. I do have a dilemma, Daryl, and I'm just going to share that with the listeners of the show.
Please do.
So everybody knows I work at Forts Toyota, and most people know that I drive a 2016 4Runner as my daily and my demo. Demos are not really that common anymore this day and age, but one of the things I do with my demos, I take them to car shows, and I kind of show stuff off with them. And the whole point of a demo is you're demonstrating, and so if that means going to Cars and Coffee, that means taking it off-road and taking it to an off-road park with stickers all over it and handing out merch. That's what I do, and I love doing it. But Tree Hugger 3, my 2016 TRD Pro in cement, is getting a bit dated. There's a new 4Runner that just came out last year, and I have to make some decisions, Daryl.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I put this to Jake said, well, your next car should obviously be a Tacoma because Tacomas get the most modifications, and there's more Tacomas on the road than any other small truck, right? They actually, for as much as the Tacoma was maligned when it came out, it's actually selling more than it was the previous generation, which shocks me even as a Toyota guy that would happen, but it's a great truck. So, Jake has a point. That's one. But then Regan says to me, well, you need a 4Runner because Toyota's really going to be pushing the 4Runner and the accessories on that, and that's going to be their off-road vehicle. I'm like, oh, man, I really do like the new 4Runner. I drove it home a while back, and Angela's like, I like this. I could do this. We had one in Everest at the store that may have been kind of set aside as maybe a loaner track car that maybe I could abscond with as my next demo.
Okay. That's option 2.
It is option 2. But then option 3 is possibly a Land Cruiser in trail dust. That's one of the launch edition Land Cruisers that might be coming back to the store after a year out in the field because the owner doesn't really care for it. And it's a beautiful car, but it's all-wheel drive, and it comes with the hybrid driveline automatic. And it does have that Land Cruiser moniker that really screams prestige Toyota, right?
Yeah.
So
I
have to come to a conclusion at some point. Where do I want to go with my next demo and my next trail build?
I think the most scientific, the most equitable option is to rock, paper, scissors this.
Oh, that is smart. I like that.
You want to do that now?
No.
Okay.
Yep.
I really think that's. I'll be honest. I would vote for the Tacoma because, first of all, I like the lines. Regan has a nice
And
one.
we have a TRD off-road in black that's stacked up and ready to go.
It's pretty killer. In black, that truck looks mean. Anything you do to it, I think, brings it to that level where you're like...
And it was stolen, so it's already got some scratches on it, so I wouldn't feel bad.
So you can kind of do your thing with it. Plus, the utilitarian aspect. If you're going to do an event, if you're going to go to a car show, you can throw whatever you want in the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do toppers. You can do a host of other things. I mean, you've done 4Runners the last couple go-arounds. I would vote for the Taco. That'd be my choice.
I like it. I've driven the Tacoma. Angela liked the Tacoma. She really liked the 4Runner too. The 4Runner back seat is nothing like the older 4Runner. So one of the things that was nice about the fifth gens that we just ended is you could actually fold down the cargo area fully flat. You could do it like a double flip forward.
Okay.
And flatten out the rear. These new ones, they don't do that, and they kind of went like with a RAV4 half flip.
Kind of stick up a little bit.
Yeah, which sucks, but it's the way of the world, right? And they know not enough people are actually utilizing what it was built for.
Like what do you mean nobody's hauling sheets of paneling for their
or
man
nobody's
cave?
camping back there and stuff like that. I mean, you could build a little thing, and Goose Gear makes a platform you could set up on any of these vehicles to sleep on. But the back seat is almost an afterthought. But the Land Cruiser, I have not brought home yet. We haven't driven one of those. It is full-time four-wheel drive. It is hybrid.
Turbo 4 and a hybrid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the same 4 that's in the 4Runner?
It is, and the Tacoma. But
okay.
But it's hybrid.
Okay.
So that's the question. So I could have full-time four-wheel drive with the hybrid probably be a washout for fuel economy versus the 4Runner Tacoma and gassers. So
Yeah.
I am still up in the air. I have until April. April is when I think the Land Cruiser is going to come back through, and I'll have a chance to drive it for a little bit.
Just to see what you think. You've never driven one that you've had at the store and stuff like that?
No, I mean I have, but nothing more than around the block.
Do they have, even though it's all-wheel drive, there's no center lock or any like
I think
E-lock?
I think there's an E-lock button in the middle. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what your thoughts would be on what that would be off-road.
Yeah.
But,
So, Joe, the guys from Chi-Town 4x4 up in Chicago, they're kind of our competition, but not really. They're not in our neck of the woods. They had like a Badlands Day a while back, and somebody had a blue Land Cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
And they had it all stacked up with all this gear, and it actually looked a bit ridiculous. It had like awnings and fuel cans and a big roof rack.
Just like overloaded.
It was overloaded. I'm like,
I've seen some Defenders like that, where when they came out with the new body style, somebody loaded it up, and I'm like, what are you doing with that?
Yeah. I try and keep my stuff pretty utilitarian. Tree Hugger 1 was pretty purpose-built as far as the roof rack was ARB, had hidden winch mount. I'm still a hidden winch mount fan. I don't believe you have to throw a giant bumper on anything, unless you're really, are you knocking down trees to get to your campsite? If you're not, hidden winch mount is fine. And if you're going to off-road parks, and you're going to beat the hell out of it, then maybe a Tacoma is the way to go. But that's not always my game. I still try and keep the truck clean whenever I go someplace. So.
Yeah, you want it presentable. Yeah. Is the aftermarket support? I know, obviously, Toyota dealer, there's a lot of TRD
That's
parts.
where Regan was leaning. So Regan was leaning towards the 4Runner. And to Jake's point, the Tacoma probably has the most accessories you can get of any vehicle. You can get anything for a Tacoma.
Yeah, OEM and aftermarket.
Yeah, so that's my question. So I guess I'll put it to you, dear listeners. Maybe we'll put a poll on this one on Spotify.
I like it.
Yeah, give us some feedback on this.
Or info@throwinwrenches.com. Let Eric know he needs to pick the Tacoma. Okay.
Tacoma's black, Land Cruiser is Everest green, and the 4Runner, the 4Runner is Everest green, and then the Land Cruiser is Trail Dust. So
check them out.
I just want to have something. I usually keep these cars for several years, 3 or 4 years, and I'm going to take it to car shows. I think the Land Cruiser has a lot of gravitas when people see it, and you put a lift on it with some 35s. That car looks tough.
It does.
Yeah, the 4Runner looks tough too, but that Everest color I'm not a huge fan of. A black Tacoma lifted with a roof rack and some other gear and lights. Oh man,
the Cruiser I like is it the 1958 edition?
Yeah,
where it's a little more stripped. I like that when they build them up, and because it just looks more utilitarian, which I like. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Whatever you pick, it's going to be a fabulous choice.
It'll be a wiener. Yeah,
I gotta know, because you and I, we tend to not sell and get rid of things. we accumulate things. I'm not looking around your basement here, but
no judgment zone.
what's going to happen with Tree Hugger 3?
Studio, by the way.
Studio.
Probably gets sold. It's funny. Cody, my parts manager, had a lifted up Tundra that I would have never thought they would have sold this thing. And when they put it on the lot, it was gone within a week. So Tree Hugger 3,
Was it the black one?
It was white.
Okay.
It was lifted to the moon. It was stupid. It had a 6-inch rough country lift on it. I thought it was, but it was Central Illinois, big truck. Tree Hugger 3 has 140,000 miles on it. It's a great vehicle. But
it is.
It's a pro in cement, so I think there'll be somebody who seeks it out, probably.
Yeah, someone will. It's a nice looking truck too. It really is. So, well, keep us posted. Let us know what happens.
Yeah. All right. So that's you know what? That's record breaking. I should just stop talking now because now we're going to move on to Daryl's projects. What is going on in the Auto Museum of North Peoria?
Well, as you mentioned, not a whole lot. It's been very, very cold.
That's not true because your first line here is like the most. I don't even know what the hell's going on here.
Oh, well, not much. I in the darkest days of midwinter slump, I was on.
It sounds like a Dickens novel getting ready to start.
Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I was on Facebook Marketplace at about 11:30 on a Thursday night, and I had probably had a little something to drink. And I was looking at the Marketplace ads every once in a while. As you all know, I've got a 1970 Plymouth Fury 3 convertible that was formerly of the Fort's family of fine vehicles.
It's just kind of a weird aside sitting in a warehouse, right?
Yeah, and it's a 318 2-barrel 904 automatic car. Nothing fancy as far as the powertrain goes. And the car was sitting for a while, but we did get it running. A longtime friend of the show, Mr. Gabe Casey, and I got the thing running in, I guess it would be 2023 now. And it came alive. It needed a fuel pump and some work here and there. But the thing got running. I've proceeded to spend the last couple of seasons driving it in the summer. Not too far, though, because the car never really ran that great. I got a carb kit for it. I did a couple other things, tuned it up, went through all the plugs, points.
You lost like headlamps or all electrical at some point on that?
Yeah, I've had some issues with that. I got that all sorted. By the way, any old Chrysler, check the grounds. Check your grounds first because they get rusty and crusty and then nothing works. More so than any other vehicles. Every Chrysler I've had has had terrible electrical. Anyway, I still love the car. It's a wonderful machine and a really good road cruiser, just a big C-body Mopar that just goes down the road and floats. But I had never really trusted it to go that far from home. I think the farthest I've taken it is probably here or Morton or, I think I drove to Metamora cruising once or twice. It seems,
yeah, you're right. You hadn't never taken it to Bloomington or anything like that.
No. And it's the car rides great, runs, drives, stops, but it has like a little miss in it every once in a while at idle. And when you get up to a certain speed, it kind of has the miss gets worse, almost to a point where you feel like it's a vibration in the drive shaft or something, but it's not. It's the thing's missing. And you just feel it because the RPM's high enough to where it kind of starts shaking a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it got progressively worse. And I went through, played around with the ignition a little bit. And I got to a point where I was at a show, and a friend of ours, John Martin, reached out and he goes, "Hey, that thing's got a little gallop in it when you start. You got a dead cylinder?" And I'm like, maybe. But it was after that, and of course, I'm just thinking, I'm still happy the thing runs.
Yeah.
But the more I put miles on it, the more I enjoy it. I'm like, I want to enjoy it more. Yeah. I want to take it on further trips. The whole point of having that car is to be able to, pile my wife and our little dog in it and go, run up to Joliet.
It's so much. The nice thing about that car is it's not completely ancient in some ways where it's, if something happened, you'd be stranded for weeks finding a part.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's got tons of space where you could throw some bags in there and, like you said, the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could cruise cross country with a couple suitcases in that thing, right?
That's kind of where my head is going. I've been watching a lot of David Freiberger videos too on Motor Trend, where they're driving cross country or taking Western road trips in old cars, and I'm like, you know what? That needs a new convertible top. It needs a little bit of upholstery work. I got new tires. I got all this other stuff done to it. Mm-hmm. Brakes been redone, new lines and stuff like that. I'm like, the motor's the weakest link. And so every once in a while on the Facebook Marketplace, I'll be looking for Chrysler or Dodge 318 or...
So, but back up. You can't just tear this engine apart and just, is it a lifter?
I could. What I think is, I think there's a couple things. Water pump's starting to leak. Radiator's got leaks in it. So I gotta pull that. To pull that off, I gotta basically tear into the front part of the motor a little bit. While I'm in there, it's the might as wells, right? No, pull the oil pan, reseal all that. Pull the heads off, send those out, get those I think either it's a burn valve guide or just, to be honest, just low compression in a cylinder. I've been so preoccupied with working on that 55 Cadillac, I really haven't diagnosed it. But I know that motor's tired.
You could have a ring literally just stuck because that car sat.
It did.
It sat, yeah.
It did. And I've done the whole thing with like a little bit of ATF or trickle like water into the vacuum line, see if it'll unstick and kind of decarbonize stuff. Nothing seems to it runs, but it doesn't run good. And nothing I've done so far improves it. Without tearing the whole thing apart, and I am not going to get rid of the motor. I'll keep it. I'll put it on a stand. Eventually, I'll send it out because I do like the numbers matching. It's a little higher compression, being a 70. I'm not going to get rid of it or cut it up or ruin it. But the first thing that goes through my mind is like, hey, I could put like a 383 or a 440, a big block in this thing and wake it up and make it fun to drive. I don't really want to do that because that's expensive. It's a lot of money. The 318 two-barrel with the rear gearing, it's like a 271 rear axle. It is a highway car, and it really gets decent mileage for how big it is. I don't want to ruin that. So I'm looking for 318s that were like good running takeouts. And every once in a while, I've been doing this for like a year, just to see what pops up.
Become an expert.
And I'm like, yeah, if I find one that's close enough, that's a decent runner, and I can kind of just drop it in and keep going, then I'll see. Lo and behold, about a month ago, I see one, and it's a 73 Chrysler 318 two-barrel with a 904 torque flight automatic for $1,000. 47,000 mile running driving. $1,000. And it's got video of the guy, and his wife's shooting the video, and it's in a 73 Dodge Challenger in his garage, and he's firing it up and does a cold start video, walk around and all that, puts the car in drive, moves it, and he's got a bunch of other pictures, and it's in a really nice original old Challenger. And so I messaged the guy.
So where's the Challenger?
It's in Frankfort, Indiana.
But why is the engine out of the Challenger?
It's in it. It's still in the car.
Oh.
But he's going to be taking it out to replace it.
Got it. Okay, so he has a plan to remove that engine. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the car had disappeared and the engine was still there.
No. It's still in the car. He's a machinist, he's an engine builder, and he's got a built 340 and a 727 he's going to put in there. It's a hot rod motor.
Yeah.
And the car is cool. It's an orange. I think it's got a black vinyl top. The car is cool. Whoever ordered it was like grandma spec with a cool color, and he wants to wake this thing up, and that's exactly what I was looking for. So I messaged the guy, and we talked. I called him the next morning, and we talked turkey, and I put a deposit down, and I'm going to go.
The spider did the fly.
Check it out. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. There's one machine shop in town.
Yeah.
And he's booked. He's busy.
Yeah.
Especially right now, if you came to him and said, hey, I've got a motor, like, yeah, you and 5 others get in line.
Yeah, and you're not talking like, the worst part is, I mean, I just deal with heads and like milling and machining and like maybe setting some valves every once in a while, but not very often. But what you're talking about, very specialized anymore, right?
Yeah, I think so. And for the amount of money, even if I have this thing and I can bolt it in and run the car for another couple years, it just buys me a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I think that's helpful, and parts is parts. So if I ever needed, set of heads or I need a spare the that's in the car is fine. But again, it's a nice running, driving car. So my goal is to pick that up, and again, this is me being stupid and pie-eyed, but I think I could probably in a month have that car turned around and running again. It's literally the exact same drivetrain. Throw some motor mounts, put a new radiator in it while it's out, clean everything, paint the frame, the subframe and all that while it's out. So it actually would look a little nicer.
Yeah.
I think it would be the motivation I need to get that thing just to that next level where you can enjoy it a lot more.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah. We'll see.
I love so part of me was like, so the backstory in that car, it'd been sitting in a warehouse forever, and Mr. Fort, our show sponsor, he knew of one person. He literally had Daryl's name on this car. He's like, I know one guy who would take this car and appreciate it. He didn't just want to sell it. He didn't want to put it on Facebook Marketplace, say, here, take this car. That car had some sentimentality to him. And I thought it was a bit unfair to do that to you because you have a garage full of cars as it is. So to say, you know who needs to take this? Daryl Scott needs to take it. And oh, by the way, he needs to fix it up and enjoy it because that's a commitment. You know, you're not just, it's like taking somebody's baby, right?
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I was very, very appreciative of that because I take that as a sign of confidence. Like, hey, you're not going to screw something up. And that's the other part of me that, you know, this is like a 1-to-1 replacement. I look at this as just dropping a, you know, kind of a factory replacement in it versus, and I've had so many of my friends, you know, like, why don't you put a real motor in that thing? Put a 440 or put a crate motor, put a Gen 3 Hemi in it. I'm like, no, I'm not cutting it up.
Yeah, so you can smoke the tires and, you know.
That's not my style. My style is to, you know, have something like that, like exactly like you said. I would love to take something like that and just, you know, cannonball west and just top down and just tunes cranked and just enjoy life. That's what that car is about. And when we got the thing running, the first thing when I originally brought it home, my wife was like, that's the 70s car. It's got green interior. It's kind of, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with this?
It's got character. I mean, if it were a beige interior,
It'd be boring.
Because of that era, you were right on the edge of the 80s. I mean, it could have been. I mean, green is bad enough, but it has a little flavor to it, right?
There's something special. And I remember we got the thing running late at night. We took it out for a drive, went through the heights, and she looked over. She's like, this thing rides really nice. I'm like, yeah, big car, 20 feet long, you know, 4,800 pound curb weight. This thing it'll go. Yeah. And I'll tell you what. Having a couple nights where I did just that, just took a nice little evening drive after work or had a stressful day or something. You know, I'm going to go run some errands, take the old car out. And driving out in the middle of nowhere out in like Kickapoo and stuff or Brimfield. I think I had it on Brimfield one night. Watched the sun, drove west, watched the sunset, turned around, came home, and I'm like, this is therapy, man.
Yeah.
Because I took something that was, you know, with a lot of help from my friends, got the thing running. And I felt like, hey, we bonded now. This thing's part of the collection. Now I want to be able to drive it anywhere. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's kind of like Avatar. You like put your ponytail into the center armrest and like slammed it down, right?
It's exactly what I did. Although I am pissed because the only AM radio station I listen to here in town, because it's only
1350.
WOAM. They sold, and I don't know what their format
is.
Yeah. They used to be like, you know, Steelers Wheel and, you know, old Barry Manilow records and stuff. Yeah. It was perfect for that car.
I did the OAM morning show with Roger one time.
Really?
Yeah. That was
of Royce and Roger fame?
Yeah, Royce had already passed, and Roger was still doing the show. And it was the most fun I've ever had in a studio because those guys, they were all volunteering their time. The news people, the sports people, and Roger, they're just basically there
just to give them something to do.
Just have fun, man. It was awesome. It was a great time.
Yeah, that was perfect. And any of the old car guys here in town, you'd pull up at a light after a show or something, and everybody would be listening to the WOAM oldies. Like, it was great. And now it's gone.
That sucks. Yeah. I didn't know that. Well, thanks for the update on that.
It's all right. We'll put a Bluetooth speaker in and call it a day.
All right, that's enough about the Fury. Like I said, you kind of took me from left field on that one.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, it's one of those things that I just did, and I'm actually going to go out there Saturday to check it out, run and drive around the car, and he's an old school guy. He's like, no, because I said, let me know when you pull it out. I'll come. You know, I gave him a deposit when you pull it out.
In Indiana,
Frankfort, near like West Lafayette. It's like 3.5 hours away. Right. Not that far. But the guy goes, I can tell he's an old school guy. Well, I want you to come out here and see it and drive it, and just so you know, you're getting what I told you. So. You know, it's the real deal. I said, I trust you. Well, you don't know me. You didn't trust me. I want you to come out here and see it. I said, okay. And it's funny, too. You ever give somebody a deposit, and they're like, let me hand the phone to my wife because she knows how to do all this PayPal thing.
Yeah.
He literally handed the phone to his wife, and she's like, hi. I'm like, hi.
These people, you could just drink them up. They are so sweet.
You know what, though? It's good because it is another reaffirming thing that as much as Facebook Marketplace sucks, every once in a while, I'm hopeful. Now, talk to me in a year, maybe I'll be, scammed. I get scammed out of $1,000. But I do feel like every once in a while, you'll find some real people on there, and this is exactly what we wanted to find. Every other 318 or used running motor I found looked like it came out of a demo derby car or an old pickup or something that was all beat. This was one that was like, I don't want this motor. And we've sold running motors before. My dad and I sold a He bought a 56 Chevy that had a Corvette 327 in it and a turbo 400. He didn't want that. We returned it back to stock, old 265, stuff that was correct for that car. But the motor that was in it was awesome. I remember he and I were like, well, what are we going to do with this? Like, we don't sell used running motors before. And I worked up an ad and stuff. This is like either early Craigslist.
Definitely Craigslist.
I mean, it's probably like 2000, whatever it was. 2005, 4. And we put an ad out there, and there were like 5 guys that showed up at like the same time.
Really?
Yeah. We're like, well, call
no
us.
holds, first come, serve.
Yeah, it was one of those where everybody was like just jonesing for it. And the first guy that came out there, he's like, yep, I fired it up, ran it, did a cold start. Yeah, this is great. Here's your money. Let me know when you pull it out. So like, okay, and the clock started. So we put the thing out in a week. It was fine, but it's just weird. Selling a motor, I think, is weird, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I guess not to that niche of human being. I mean, same thing as pulling a processor or something out of a computer. So I'm selling this new Ryzen 7, whatever. It's the same thing.
Parts or pieces of used stuff. Parts.
All right, the Volvo is making an appearance here. What's going on there, bud?
Yeah, not much. I just need to get out. I had a couple guys reach out to me to see if I was going to bring the Volvo to the Swedish car show at the Bishop Hill Colony again this year. I guess they're going to do that again in May, maybe.
Nice.
I'll look it up. But a bunch of guys came out from a Volvo club in Chicago, and some other guys from Champaign and St. Louis all met up there. And they're like, hey, you coming this year? You weren't there last year. I was like, no, I wasn't, because I had the drive shaft issue. Yeah. And I got that all fixed. I'm like, you know what? I am. I need to put an exhaust system on. I have it, just haven't had time.
Yeah.
Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll take it somewhere and have them put it on.
Oh, there you go.
There's a genius idea, Daryl. But I want to get that out more because that's a fun car and it's cost nothing to run.
Are you bolting it on or are you welding it?
Yeah, it's all bolt on. And it's got weird hangers. They use all kinds of weird, like these giant thick rubber, almost like bungee cord rubber bands to hold the thing on.
Oh, I've seen some of that stuff over the years.
I've seen it more in newer cars. The late 60s had them.
I had a guy come in with a RAV4 a while back, and it looked like somebody had strung it up with bungee straps. And it was basically the mounting system. It looked like it was made to be that way. I'm like, that's not how we do exhausts, but it definitely is a good way to piecemeal something if you don't have the right supports and everything's rusted out, right?
Yeah. This one was basically falling off. I hacksawed it from there's a resonator and a muffler, and I hacked it off at the muffler back, and the thing just sounds like a rally car that's hit a tree.
Little Bork?
Yeah. So I have the whole new system now. It's all, it's good stuff. So I need to put that on and make it a little more presentable.
Nice.
So. And then the other news is my brother, you might have heard last year sometime, I guess in the summer, maybe it was the fall before winter, 85 Chevrolet Cavalier Type 10 convertible, 2.8 V6 with a Muncie 4-speed. Fun car. Got it from my dad, and it's a nice summer car. Although, car started running really bad. Took it apart and found out the injectors all didn't match. Out of the 6 injectors, like 3 matched, and then the other 3 were different.
Different
part numbers, and one of them wasn't even an OEM Delco one. So my brain, I said, you know what? Just get all new AC Delco injectors. Well, it's like $600 or $700 or $800, whatever it was, a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, let's send these out and I'll have them ultrasonic. I'll send them to an injector cleaner place. And
oh, geez.
He did. And part of me is like, you'll never see them again, or they'll come back all whatever.
Yeah, waste of time. Get new ones.
Just get new ones. They came, and it's a place called Injector Masters. I believe they're in Washington or Oregon. And we got together a couple weeks ago, and he goes, hey, guess what? They shipped them back with all the stuff. They called me beforehand. They said 3 of them passed. They cleaned them, ultrasonic cleaned them, whatever, tested the flow patterns, all that, and they got a little printout they'll give you. He's like, yeah, those 3 are great. The others were all junk. He's like, 1 didn't work at all, so we replaced whatever the parts that needed for that. And then the other 2 were so badly clogged that we wound up cleaning them and replacing the screens or whatever. So for $200, everything's done, or whatever it was. It's like $150 plus $50 to ship it or something. So I'm anxious to put that back together. We'll get that going for the spring. We got some repairs to the injector harness too to do. I'm gonna get the little pin-out tool and repin some stuff because it got all jacked up. The connector broke. But I thought, maybe that's the smart way to go. Have you ever sent stuff out to get clean injectors?
As you're talking, so I have a Tacoma right now in the shop. It's out of warranty, and Toyota says to replace all the injectors. The high pressure injectors on Tacoma, is it out of line to say 3,000 psi or something like that?
Yeah, the direct injections. Yeah, that's
They're
crazy.
So the cost, just the cost on the parts alone is $300 each. Retail is more than that. And so, by the time you pull those off and you put new seals and you do all the labor, I mean, we're talking an expensive repair.
Yeah.
And likely it only has one or two that are out. If it ran fouled fuel through it, which the guy says he didn't, he says he gets everything at Costco. He's got receipts from Costco the whole time. He probably only has one. What happens is every time you start it, it just like chugs,
Floods out.
Yeah, and you can smell the unspent fuel like it's sitting in a spot, but it's really hard to track those on these high pressure systems with the what is the Atkinson cycle engine?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Highlander's got one too.
Yeah. So
can I steal your charger?
you can attempt it. Yes. Sorry, we're so long here.
No, you're fine. You forgot my charger. Yeah. So same thing though. They're saying replace.
But I don't
them
know
all.
if they're saying replace them all. So now I'm wondering to myself as you say that, if I could just pull them all out and just send them to these guys and then find out that it only needs one or two instead of charging this guy for all these, because frankly he's out of warranty. He's a good old dude, and I'd like to help him out. So
honestly, give him a shot, because it was one of those that we came up when we did some Googling and looked at other recommendations. They came pretty highly recommended. There's others obviously that'll do it. I think some of the diesel shops will even do the gas stuff too. But I was just talking with a guy who worked at Caterpillar in warranty claims, and he's like, they would do the same thing. Oh, you need all new injectors. Like, no, you probably need one.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, the chances of all 6 injectors being bad is slim to none.
Unless you got rust in the tank or, like you said, contaminated fuel.
But yeah, and I think something like that probably passed through the system, but likely, I don't want to replace all 6 unless I have to. It'd be awesome to send them somewhere, have them bench tested, find out what's actually bad. It'd be awesome if they said, yeah, 2 of these are actually bad. Like, all right, cool, let's get 2 and go, right?
It's worth your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, Injector Masters.
Injector Master.
Thank you, Injector Masters.
Thank
you, Thigh Master.
This is Suzanne Summers reference. Anyways, that's what I got going on. Eric, what is going on in the world of
news? Thank you for that analog.
You're welcome.
Yeah. The big news, and we alluded to it in the introduction here. BMW's screw that no one else can turn. Oh, my God. This is from Autoblog. While Mercedes aims to make cars easier to repair, BMW has patented a roundel-shaped screw head that push owners to a dealer-only service and repair. Key points of this article, I don't know if I want to read the key points, but we'll do it. They patented the roundel-shaped screws, and it requires a special brand-specific tool.
And it looks like, by the way, it looks like the BMW logo. Or like remember those tamper-proof ones you saw in the high school bathroom stalls?
Yeah,
that's what this looks like.
I can't open up my Bose speaker because I need a tool like this, the design prevents owners and independent mechanics from servicing some car components, and it competes with brands like Mercedes, which is funny because they're making cars easier, not harder to repair. BMW has never been shy about doing things its own way, and sometimes it results in clever solutions, like gaining access to Tesla's supercharger network. Other times, it produces ideas that sound brilliant on paper but prove far less friendly to the real world, like the glorious but famously temperamental S85 B10. I don't get that reference. If you're a Beamer guy, maybe you do. I don't know. BMW's latest screw patent leans firmly towards the latter. While the new screwhead design is undeniably clever and unmistakably BMW, it appears to be purpose-built to keep ordinary owners well away from working on their own cars. What makes this more frustrating is that the competition is moving in another direction. As they said 3 times before in this article, MB, for example, has recently spoken about redesigning future vehicles to be easier to repair, not harder. This came up on my feed like 2 weeks ago.
I never heard of this. This is blowing my mind. No, this is blowing my mind.
It's the craziest thing ever. At first, I thought this is April Fool's.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like an April Fool's.
This is the Onion, right?
However,
Toyota could make a bolt with a sombrero, right?
Just branded.
And you got to have a wheel lock key, like every time you turn a bolt. How asinine. I'm sorry. I'm going to swear on this show, Daryl.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But honestly, what benefit does that have? Even if you're a BMW tech, that's going to be a pain in the neck.
Well, you probably already hate life as a BMW technician.
Do.
Yeah. I think this is literally just an ego stroke. One more ego stroke as a BMW owner to pop the hood, to look at anything and see BMW logo bolts everywhere, right?
Terrible. Ideas like this need to be discouraged, shunned, forbidden, illegal. I mean, this is the same people that brought you the heated seat subscription or the keyless start
That
subscription.
They are the same people for that.
Yeah.
That is true.
What are we doing, BMW?
All I can think, though, is so this roundel type thing, it's a BMW logo, which is it's a circle divided into 4 squares. And so two of the pies, this is with like Trivial Pursuit, but there's only four categories. 2 of the pies have been removed from the widget or the wheel, and you have some kind of a forked torque wrench that fits in there. All I can think is these things are going to break all the time.
Oh, they'll round off. It's called a roundel because they're going to round off. It's terrible.
They're going to be cracked. Constantly you're going to be like, and you can't even take a drill head and pull the broken pieces out of this because it's not round. It's triangular.
No.
So you're going to be like beating these things on the pavement of the shop trying to get the nubs out of there the whole time.
Hard pass. Hard pass. By the way, somebody told me this like a year or 2 ago. I don't know if it's true or not. You could probably Google it. The BMW logo, that whatever you call it, the
Bavarian Motor Works?
Yes. Do you know what that's supposed to be?
The circle? I have no idea.
Propeller. So they got their start making like airplane motors.
Oh.
Like way back, like the Red Baron.
During
kinda.
World War II?
One. Okay. Prior to that. The other World War.
Okay. All right. They weren't building Sopwith camels, folks.
I don't think so.
No.
So I believe that's supposed to be a stylized propeller to signify that, which is kind of cool. So if that's wrong, maybe that's an urban legend. Check that out.
I don't know. All right. You want to take this next one?
Sure. Let's talk about Congress. Let's talk about Congress, baby. All right. U.S. Congress introduces the Safe Exit Act targeting Tesla door handles after claiming 15 deaths. This is from Electech, a periodical we occasionally pull from time to time. A new bill has been introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives that specifically targets the design of electric vehicle door handles, with the sponsor explicitly calling out Tesla and Elon Musk. Now, you guys know what we're talking about here. Those are the ones that
they were so cool when you first saw them. You walk up the car and they like come out like a little,
Yeah, it's really cool. Now I think like Land Rover, a bunch of people have them, right? The bill is dubbed as the Securing Accessible Functional Emergency, or SAFE.
Why do we have to do this with everything?
Act.
I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, the acronym
SAFE.
It aims to force automakers to install easy-to-find manual releases in case of a power failure. We've seen a trend in the auto industry, mostly led by Tesla, to move towards electronic door latches instead of a mechanical linkage that physically unlatches the door when you pull a handle. A button or a sensor sends a signal to an actuator that then pops the door open. Custom car guys in the back of the day used to use that, little door poppers. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now, this allows for frameless windows and smoother aerodynamics, but it does create a safety concern, according to some. If the vehicle loses power, like in a severe crash, the doors can stay locked unless there is a mechanical override. Was it the new Corvettes, the C8, I think is like that too, where that was a thing when that came out. It was, I think there were even some reports of guys crashing them, like on a track or something. They couldn't pop.
Oh, man.
They had to have, there's some sort of like battery backup or something that's supposed to happen. I never thought, when Drive-by-Wire came out, you heard all the people like, oh, that's weird. That's a safety thing. There's nothing mechanically connecting you to this stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it. Take some of the feel out or whatever. But this maybe is a different story. I could kind of see that. I'd be curious to hear from like a paramedic, a firefighter.
Have you ridden in like an X or anything like that?
Yes.
Because I've been in the back seat before, and I've literally sat there for a second trying to figure out how to get out of the car.
Like you take a moment?
Yeah. They're like, what's going on here? I'm like, and it's a button. It's like a thumb button. You got to you wrap your hand around the handle, press the thumb button, and let you out. If that car crashes or you're on fire, and there's no power, it seems insane to think that won't work and you can't get out of the car.
Yeah, I guess. I spent a lot of time in my brother-in-law's Model S, and I never thought about it, but also I'm pretty oblivious nowadays. The one thing I do think about is, like you said, the loss of power. I'm sure there's got to be some sort of, even if you're not going to re-engineer something so you have a physical, how many old cars have you been in or old trucks? This is probably dating yourself.
Don't work, or
the handles,
off.
They pop off. Or the door lock doesn't work. You have to open the door from the inside or something.
Yeah,
I remember
my old Tacoma. You have to really pull on the passenger side handle because it's like the cable stretch or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's a '97. And to your point about we could design this, and I was almost thinking you were going to say we could put batteries in, we could make these
battery
we
backup.
could make it redundant. How much tech do we need to throw into a door handle? And then think about, as an antique car lover, how much more obsolescence are we adding to these vehicles? Not that a Tesla is going to be a classic car in 30 years that somebody can actually functionally drive without
But it's
without
one of
some
those
different
things.
improvements to right to repair. But I get it. We went to a spot, and I get it, Daryl.
I get it.
I'm Eric Stahl, and I get it.
By the way,
It's my new
that's one of
campaign slogan,
his
by the way.
favorite sayings of all time.
It is, yeah. So, yeah. But it's I think we hit a high point. I think we hit a high watermark in design. It's certainly clever, but if you can't get your fingers underneath it, I think all you have to do is just even put like just a half-inch lead, just so people could just get their hands under the handle, right?
I guess. I'm thinking too in terms of a crash, even the mechanical linkages and stuff. That's why they have Jaws of Life, where they've got the.
If it needs be.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But they've had enough deaths that this isn't just like a one-off.
It's not a one-time isolated. Yeah. Interesting. So, Safe Act. Was it Safe Exit Act? If you want to follow that, SAFE exit.
All right. This next article I was going to scrub it and bring it back because the only reason why is because I think when you and I first started this show, we talked about this project
Like 3 or 4 years ago. Longer than that. Damn.
7 or 8.
Yeah. Yeah, remember Sony? Sony's going to make a car.
Sony's going to make
one
a
day.
car, and we've been talking about the Sony car forever. Well, this year at CES, back in January, I know we're a little long on this thing, Sony shows up with Honda, and they're a highlight at the CES show. Ahead of the public opening, Sony Honda Mobility. Sony Honda Mobility, that's now the name of this little thing, held its first standalone press conference at CES Media Day. The company shared updates on the Afeela One. Afeela. How does that make you feel?
I'm not a feeling it. You know what I'm saying?
It's scheduled to begin consumer deliveries later this year, and it's introduced its new prototype, the Afeela Prototype 2026, making its public world debut. At the conference, in addition to presentations by 3 of the other company's executives, 3 guest speakers from partner companies and their organizations took the stage to discuss the future of mobility and will expand through their collaboration with Afeela, as well as their expectations for the brand. Beginning on January 6th, the SMH booth opened to the public, offering an immersive look at the Afeela's core principles: autonomy, evolving autonomy, augmentation, expansion of the body in space-time, and affinity, collaboration with people, and the symbiosis with society.
Kumbaya.
Oh, my Lord. I don't know, dude. I think this is a little more pagan than that.
Expansion of the body and space and okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like a yoga mat in the back. You just roll that sucker out while she's autonomously maybe catapulting you down the interstate. I don't know. The exhibit featured the Afeela One pre-production model in all 3 exterior colors: tidal gray, calm white, and core black. My core is black. Alongside with the newly revealed Afeela Prototype 2026, together with the exhibitions by Sony companies, partner collaborations, and sustained focus displays, the booth illustrates how Afeela is evolving beyond the vehicle into the connected mobility platform and Sony Honda Mobility's vision for future mobility. How weird did this all get?
Yeah, who wrote that? Was there a lot of?
And I would think this is. I mean, if I'm a Sony gamer, I'm like, I love PlayStations. I got my Sony Walkman headphones. I'm a Sony disciple. There's something that just went totally weird, and this isn't even like Honda vibe.
No, there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
When you think of like Sony audiophiles, there's still people that are devoted. Like
I always get Sony headphones.
Yeah,
I love Sony headphones.
That's what we're wearing. Well, are we wearing it? I don't know. What are these? There's some sort of headphones.
I don't know what these are.
Well,
Audio. That's a generic brand. How'd I get you brought these over?
Hey, don't make fun of them. No, but it does 100%. It feels like a disconnect. I will also say I blame Honda for this because Honda itself is also going through an identity crisis as a brand. Don't you think?
100%. Yeah.
Like if you start looking at what they're churning out lately, you're like, huh? Like the Passport. They're trying to make it like a chunky, something it's not. The Prelude came out, and everybody is like panning that.
Yeah, what's up with that? That should have been a hot car.
No, it's bananas. It's there's just a lot of decisions that Honda's decision to have General Motors make an EV for them.
But let's think about this. 2 years ago, they were on a press conference floor with Mitsubishi and Nissan talking about joining forces.
Yeah, I think somebody at Honda needs to come get their grandpa and figure out what's going on. This actually, the cars, looking at the pictures, obviously being a podcast, can't really talk, but pictures, but I'll just describe them here. They actually look decent. They look like a Saab had a child with a Lucid Air.
Totally lucid. Yes, I'll give you that.
Similar greenhouse, similar proportions. I don't mind it.
But that
so
sedan
much.
in the far back almost looks like a new Camry or a Nissan Altima.
Yeah, it's got some similar vibes.
Yeah.
And I don't
Everything's
know.
got a black roof anymore. It's like that's the thing.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out. The name is a little too touchy, Ophelia, and just the way that they're trying to already market this just doesn't ring my bell. But I'm probably not the target demo.
Ring my bell.
There you
go. Thank you.
Thank you. That was world
Rush.
news. We're going to move on here to the national stage.
Yeah, it kind of bounced around. I got another article after this one. But
Okay.
Yeah, I read the affiliate. You get this one. Sorry.
Ford. This one's about the Blue Oval boys and gals. Ford wants to turn your sun visor into a heads-up display. Head-up displays, or hoods, are meant to simplify driving. Ford might have found a very unconventional way to rethink them. This is by Pablo Salapantin from...
hang on, if you mouse over it, I thought it would show. It's Autoblog.
Autoblog. Title of the article is New Age Hood. Modern cars generally dominated by tech, which has become the new barometer for how spatial, safe, or cool a car is. But there are some technological features, though, that are not only cool, but also convenient and safe. Heads-up displays. Why do they call them head-up displays?
I'm not HUDs. I'm not familiar with that.
Heads-up, whatever. Head-up displays, HUDs, were invented as a means so the drivers can obviously keep their vision straight on the road, much without any impediments to their vision. First used in fighter jets, HUDs displayed all the relevant information through a projection in the windscreen that a driver can see. Do you remember when those came out on like Pontiacs?
I think my uncle had a Corvette in the 80s, and that had the heads up for the speed. Yeah, it was like, it had and the glass was purple in that spot. So you knew something different was wrong with the windshield.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And the nerd of me, if you want to look this up, when GM acquired Hughes Aviation in the 80s, it was to poach a lot of tech like that.
Oh, neat.
A lot of that. So kind of cool. That's why Pontiacs of that certain area kind of have some neat tech in them. Anyways, it appears Ford wants to take the HUD tech to another level. Alongside an adjustable HUD from last year, the Blue Oval has invented another one, and it is as ridiculous as it looks. They've got a drawing here which looks like a paint by numbers. Doesn't it?
Looks like an Oculus Rift on the driver's head.
It's like an 80s graphic of a woman in some sort of sedan with all kinds of stuff on her face.
Yeah.
But her visor's flipped down. And Ford is taking it literally. They have just filed a patent for their own definition of the HUD, specifically patent number blobbity bloop bloop bloop, filed with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office January 1 of 2026. They want to actually have this little, almost like probably a set of glasses.
Dude, it's like fighter jet look. This literally, you reference that. This looks like something that would flip down. Like when Luke is trying to fly down the corridors to drop the the photon in the hole, isn't he? Like, he's like, yeah. He's like, and he's like watching as the whole thing's like bobbing.
Yeah,
he's looking through a little square or a little rectangular portal, right? They flip down over his face.
He was driving a Taurus. He was driving
it's a show. It was a show.
It was a show. No, I think Ford's. I don't know if they got the right idea here, but everybody's obsessed with Meta glasses and all the Google.
We gotta be done with this stuff, right?
I think so. Look at how much information you could glean from that, though. Like on a foggy day or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. I just think of all of the benefits. Here's the thing. I love the technology we have in cars today, but I still want to have buttons because I want to be able to not take my eyes off the road and feel what I need to do. The older I get, the more conscious I am of how many years I've been driving without watching the road. And I start freaking myself out because really all the infotainment we have with not only your phone and stuff, but even stuff in the car. Watching my folks drive their Ford Explorer, everything's on a big screen, and they're out there boop boop, and I'm like, watch the road. Yeah. I think we've gotten so distracted in cars now that anything we could do to project more information straight ahead to keep you focused, even if you're not focused 100%. I think just looking forward at what's in front of you, I think is helpful. This is a little weird looking, but I get the idea.
But aren't we using a lot of stuff like the LiDAR technology and stuff like that to kind of be watching the monitoring? You know, my hood ornament of my Toyota is watching the distance between me and the car in front of me.
True.
Do I really need to have this thing here, like, you know, showing me a little red line, stuff like that?
I guess.
And it's just more technology in the car. I mean, what happens when this thing doesn't work?
Yeah, or throws an error. Please take the car to the nearest dealership.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the whole thing. It looks a little distracting. I guess I'd love to see it in action. I also want to know why she's driving a BMW.
Yeah, it's a little. I have a problem with the illustration for the patent. Couldn't the Ford guy? Hey, Ford, we need some engineers to apply for a patent.
F-150 in here or something.
Put some Ford in there. I don't know. The other thing too is automakers have been obsessed with the visors for years.
Yeah.
I think when the Lincoln Mark 8 came out, maybe it was the Mark 7, one of them had like a cell phone, a hands-free thing in the visor. Chrysler had a visor phone you'd flip down, and like the Imperials in the late 80s, early 90s.
I don't remember that at
front-wheel
all.
drive. Yeah, it was called like the visor phone. It would flip down, you boop, 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 like a cell phone that was hardwired into the car. And it would let you make hands-free calls. Once you hit and initiated the call, it would all be hands-free. Someone else was doing weird stuff with the visor, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know.
This one reminds me of like if somebody goes to AutoZone and they want that like extra senior visor that like flips down on top of the visor to give them like the gold tint. This kind of looks like that.
How about? I'll tell you what. When's the last time you used a visor? I never used.
I use them all the time. The 4Runner has like a side visor that slides out, and I don't have tinted glass in the 4Runner, so when I have something on the side of the car, I need it.
It's handy.
Yeah,
I never use. I have to physically remind myself that it's there every once in a while because I've got my insurance thing, and the Tundra's got a little slider thing, which is kind of nice.
Yeah,
for you.
I have a problem with my visor's too thick now, and I can't put my remote on it. So in the wintertime, I like to pull in the garage, and I just keep it in the cup holder. It drives me nuts because it'll like spring off and like hit me in the face.
Well, I don't know. Ford, maybe you got a good idea there.
Maybe.
What's going on with our buddies at Hyundai?
Oh, my God, man. It's all about robots, and we're not talking about Elon. Car giant Hyundai to use human-like robots in factories. That's from the BBC, from Osman Chia. Chia. Yeah, this is actually a business reporter. Anyway, Hyundai Motor Group says it will roll out human-like robots at its factories from 2028, so I guess we had a couple of years to prepare for this, as major companies race to use the new technology. The South Korean firm showed off Atlas, a humanoid robot that developed by Boston Dynamics at the CES show in Las Vegas. Hyundai says it plans to integrate the Atlas across a global network, including a plant in the U.S. of Georgia, in the state of Georgia. I thought that was you. That's you tapping over there. I thought, oh my God, something's happening here. Is it okay? I got to back this up. Including a plant in the state of Georgia that was involved in the massive immigration raid of 2025. Other firms have said they will use humanoid robots in their operations, include Amazon, Tesla, and the Chinese car maker giant BYD. Atlas robots will gradually take on more tasks, said Hyundai. The firm owns a majority stake in Boston Dynamics. I did not know that. That is news to me.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
The technology company is famous for Spot, the robot dog, the one you can like strap a gun on and like send into a war zone, right?
Exactly.
Atlas, which is designed for general industrial use, is being developed to work alongside people and autonomously manage machines. Hyundai said robots will help ease the physical strain on human workers, handle potentially dangerous tasks, and pave the way for the wider use of technology. The firm did not say how many robots it would initially deploy or how much the robots will cost. Hyundai's vice chair, Jun Chang, acknowledged concerns that human workers could lose their jobs to robots. He said that they will still be needed to train the robots along other roles.
We need to clean up the robots when they collapse.
So I made Angela watch the Whistle and Diesel episode where he bought the $90,000 robot and like had it as a maid in his house and cooking and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm laughing the whole time. Angela didn't laugh at all, but
yeah, Sarah doesn't like him either. Let me ask you this: Can Hyundai? This is going to sound bad. Can Hyundai hire the robots to design a better car?
Right?
Can they maybe do that?
Yeah, maybe they might need to, according to this next article.
Yeah, because the Hyundai Santa Cruz appears to be headed for early retirement.
Oh, good for it. I want early retirement. How do I do that? Apparently Hyundai's figured that out.
Designed to meet demand for smaller, more urban-friendly trucks. I'm looking at you, Ford Maverick. Mm-hmm. Hyundai is expected to exit production of the Santa Cruz pickup as sales continue to fall short of expectations. I see a lot of them on the road, though.
I do too, actually.
Like all over. Maybe it's here. While the model gave Hyundai its first serious foothold in the highly competitive U.S. pickup segment, the company is now shifting attention to its larger, more traditional and commercially safer truck designs.
Commercially, what does that mean? Are these unsafe?
It's like safe in a business
Oh,
sense.
okay,
Like
okay,
it's a safer bet.
Okay.
Robots make the trucks. According to reporting from Automotive News, Hyundai is expected to end Santa Cruz production earlier than its previously planned second quarter 2027 end date. The unpopular opinion, Eric. Maverick or Santa Cruz? I'm going Santa Cruz.
I am too, actually. But
that
if
wrong?
I'm running a business, if I'm running like a cable installer or a bug business, something like that,
Yeah.
I'm going Maverick.
How come?
It's a more functional bed. Whatever this is, I mean, this reminds me of the Baja Brat that Subaru came out with years ago, and it wasn't the good. It wasn't the good Brat. It was basically more of a four-door car with a bed as an afterthought,
Like an Outback wagon that's kind of just morphed into this.
I was really down with that car when they first released it back in the late '90s, early 2000s, and then they screwed that up, and that car was also super expensive.
It was.
It was unnaturally expensive.
For no reason. Hey, you got this thing that's hideous nobody wants? Yeah, it's
Exactly.
like $5,000 more than anything
Yeah,
else.
by the way, because it's in the United States, it comes with all this extra cladding and alloy wheels and roof racks and another $8,000 in accessories on it. I am surprised by this, but if they're going to actually move to something that's a little more functional as a small truck, I think that's probably good. And Toyota's been talking about it. Every manufacturer is talking about this segment. So every time I go overseas, the United States is the only place in the world that doesn't have small trucks like this.
Yeah, and that's I really was hoping that the Maverick would spur that next wave.
Yeah, everybody stood back and watched, but it's the same thing with like the Ford Bronco. Everybody stood back and watched, and Bronco stole market share from Jeep, and Maverick just basically stole market share, I think, from other small trucks. I mean, I think Nissan makes a decent little truck, and I know Mitsubishi did. But those trucks don't exist anymore because I think people are seeing these little industrial trucks. And it might have stole from Workman's too. I would be interested to know. I mean, I'm kind of speaking on my butt here right now, but I would love to know where they stole from on these Mavericks.
Yeah, good point. Meanwhile, over in
Rivian
Land.
Rivian Land. Rivian is our next door neighbor. They're just down the road. You could throw a rock 20 miles. I can't throw a rock 20 miles. I don't know about you, Daryl, but
No.
Rivian is just over the hillside. Deliveries fell in 2025, and now its next EV has to succeed. This is from Rex Sanchez. He's a news editor at... Didn't do that one properly. Anyway, Rivian saw deliveries fall 18% in 2025 following a record-setting year, underscoring the importance of the more affordable R2. When Rivian R1T arrived at the scene in 2021, the California-based EV maker appeared poised to continually raise the bar for the future of electric vehicles. However, like many EV brands, Rivian has been hit hard by the sudden market shift, an impact that has since been reflected in its 2025 delivery figures. Rivian, which currently sells EVs only in North America, I didn't know that. I thought they might have sold them in other countries too.
Yeah.
Said on Friday that it had delivered 42,000 vehicles last year, representing an 18% decline from its record of 51,500 in 2024. The company also reported 9,700 deliveries in the fourth quarter, roughly 3,500 fewer than Q3. While the decline may appear concerning at first glance, it was largely expected because of the loss of the federal EV credits last September. And that's true. I mean, everybody who sells EVs kind of knew they had to hustle out a bunch of stuff, and then they were going to drop. So they probably did have a big push there towards the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
With EV models becoming increasingly expensive, Rivian appears to be need its upcoming R2 to regain the momentum and broaden its appeal. The R2 is a midsize electric crossover positioned to rival the Tesla Model Y, and while its deliveries are expected in the first half of the year, the model represents one of several attempts by automakers to address a growing demand of relatively affordable EVs alongside forthcoming offerings such as the Slate truck. We talked a little bit about the Slate truck in the pre-show. If you have a chance, watch that video with Jay Leno. Pricing will be a critical factor in the R2 success. The model is expected to start around $45,000, placing it squarely in the same price range as the Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive. I have some friends who work at Rivian, and they had a big Christmas party this year, and they invited people from out. Do you know anybody who went to that?
No.
Okay, so I know several people who went to it, and they were really pushing this R2 out there, and like my brother and his wife, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna get an R2. This R2 is great." At $45,000, you're not pushing a lot of risk.
No.
Like, if you do a lease and take it for 3 years, what are you out? You're out of payment every month or something like that. But you're not worried about the tech failing. You're
Not a
worried,
long term.
You're not worried about depreciation.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of pre-purchase some of that and probably didn't catch it all because the lease is usually compensated. So I'm interested to see how the R2 does. And to be fair, Daryl and I have said this from the get-go at Rivian. We really want that company to succeed. Rivian is a staple in Bloomington Normal, and everything that the economic success of that company actually matters here in Central Illinois. So
Yeah.
I am not against them at all. There's ancillary businesses that that work off of them. It is a car manufacturer, so there's glass companies, there's upholstery makers, there's all these other things that go on around the Rivian plant, and they're building pretty heavy over there.
They are. Their fit and finish is still, I think, probably some of the best around. Did you see the local coffee shop in Peoria Heights? They've got a Rivian, like a test drive thing now?
No.
So you can go there and actually book an appointment.
You have to wear a cool hat.
You could. It's optional.
Okay.
But, you can go get a cup of coffee and then take a little test drive and have a little consult. They got one sitting right out front. So they're kind of trying to do a little different approach to the sales because they don't have like bricks and mortar dealerships and
Interesting.
stuff. A friend of mine just actually did that this week, and he texted me. He's like, actually, it was really cool. And I said, how did you get the hardcore sell after? He says, no, super chill. They just, enjoy your cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Basically just, I think it's a good foot in the door for people who want to experience one of those things in a setting that isn't a dealership. That's kind of an interesting way to approach it.
Maybe. I think sometimes there's a sense of sometimes people buy a car with urgency. Had an accident, got a mechanical problem.
Uh-huh.
I think half the population doesn't have patience to kind of just gather our thoughts and feel it out, right?
Maybe not.
How many times people walk in the door at the dealership and I got to have a car today.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go to the coffee shop and drive one.
I don't know. Maybe some people. Maybe it's a different. Maybe it's a different.
I think it's
age.
It's a different scenario. I think, and I always say that EVs are great third cars. So maybe in that situation, that's what it is too.
Could be. What I think of the Alec Baldwin line in Glengarry Glen Ross. Man, don't walk on the lot unless he's ready to buy. There's a different.
That's not true, Alec. Because I remember during Cat Week when all the guys were on vacation. And they used to just walk on the lot, just to walk on the lot.
And nobody was doing it. Nobody's spending any money.
They were bored, and they needed to talk to somebody, and they were going to kick around some salesman at a Japanese car lot, and that was my job.
Just waste your time. Yeah, I'll get back to you on that. Well, speaking of interesting wastes of time, let's head a little bit further north. It is winter in the Midwest. And
my feet are cold right now, Daryl.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Chicago had a really interesting thing. They had a name a snowplow contest in good old Chicago, and they got 25 finalists up there. So
all right.
We're going to take this from Block Club Chicago's Joe Ward. He's got a nice article in the paper. The city's released the list of 25 finalists.
You used to talk like that as a child growing up in Chicago, right?
I did.
Okay, you shook the accent well.
In between bites of my deep dish cheese and sausage pizza. In its annual Name a Snowplow contest from an early fan favorite, the city released the 25 finalists that made the list there. City officials on Sunday announced the list of finalists in the contest, which lets residents vote to officially name a series of city snowplows. I bet some of these are so inappropriate.
No, they aren't. They're pretty tame.
All right. Over 13,000 name suggestions were submitted to the contest this year, and one clear theme was present among submissions: abolish ICE and other anti-immigrations and customs.
I didn't want to make
names.
this. There are funny names in there,
topical.
but yeah, it is topical.
They actually made up 80% of the submissions in this year's snowplow contest. Book Club reported the city selects 25 of those submissions to advance to a public vote, and that is now live and runs through February 14th. So if you want to, vote on that there, go ahead and do that. Yes, the Abolish ICE made the list. Other snowplow names, the contenders include Caleb Chilliams.
I don't know what that means.
It's a sports thing.
The next one's great, though.
Chance the Scraper, I guess. It's time for the Plowculator.
What does that mean?
Is it like percolator? Is
I
it
guess,
a song?
I guess.
Man, I'm feeling really old right now.
Plowing 6-7 inches. 6-7, 6-7. Come on, you get that?
Full, yeah, sort
Okay,
of.
all
I
right.
have to ask my 7-year-old niece. See a full list of finalists below. I'm not going to go through all
Well,
these.
there was, so they went down, they had a couple of the honorees from previous ones, which were actually pretty good too.
Okay.
Top winners of the past 3.
Where do we go here?
Bozo the Plown.
That's actually pretty good.
Skilling It. Tom Skilling, right? Is that
Yeah.
who we're referenced to there?
Former WGN weatherman,
Oh, yeah,
meteorologist.
actually, they spelled out there, yeah.
Tom Skilling. And Mrs. O'Leary's Plow.
Which is a great name as well.
A little Chicago history. Chicagoans have once again displayed their unmatched creativity and civic pride in submitting names for this year's contest, says the Streets and Sanitation Commissioner Cole Stollard. We're grateful to the community for engaging with us, and we encourage all residents to submit votes for the top 6 names. The 2025 You Name a Snowplow finalist lists Abolish Ice, Blizzard of Oz,
I like that one.
Buckingham
Plowton.
Plowton.
I like that one too.
Already said Caleb Chilliams, Chance the Scraper. What? Cheryl Scott warned you about this?
Cheryl Scott, she's a weather person. Yeah, I think she's a weather person in Chicago, isn't she?
I gotta Google it.
Anyway, Daniel Burnham, Derek Froze, the Italian Icebreaker. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, she is a meteorologist.
It's time for the Plowculator, Jeffrey Plowlet. Live, Laugh, Plow. That's pretty great. Minnie Minosno. How did that get to number 14? How many people are actually voting on that thing?
I don't know.
Yeah. Mustard Snow Ketchup.
Plowosaurus Sue. All right, some of these are
Pope Frio 14th.
some of these are pretty crap.
There they are. This isn't Florida.
Okay.
All right.
So I tell you, what if you did name a snowplow and it was wildly inappropriate or politically charged? What would happen? Would people abuse the snowplow? Would they crash into it?
I don't know.
Would they throw, rocks and sticks and tomatoes at it?
It's supposed to be fun, so I think to make it political kind of takes the fun out of it. If people have to be polarized every time a snowplow goes by, I think it's kind of dumb.
Every time here in Peoria, well, I'll just say they don't come off, but every time a snowplow comes by, I jump for joy. I wave at them. I jump up and down. They probably think there's something wrong
really?
with me because they don't come very often down my street. I don't know what the deal is, man. I live right off of 2 snow routes, and not feeling the love.
Okay.
So maybe
you haven't been a good boy. Why don't you put out some cookies for me every once in a while?
I did actually get yelled at by a snowplow driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Because your cars are too big?
No. I always have my stuff off the streets. By the way, Peoria, they call them the snow fighters.
Oh.
It's not Public Works, it's the snow fighters.
Nice.
Yeah. And in the summer, they're just like Public Works. But there's a whole marketing thing going on in my city. And I do love them. They're great people. But I was out there with my Troy-built 2-stage snowblower. Years ago, we had a real bad snowstorm, and I was out there clearing the middle of the street, and I just kept going all the way to Knoxville because I'm like, I need to go to work. So I made like 3 passes down the center of the street just so there was enough so people could kind of get out. Mm-hmm. And as I was finishing the last pass, going ready, putting it into my driveway, a snowplow from the city shows up, and he pulls up in front of my house, and he stops. He saw me plowing the street with my snowblower. He goes, "Hey, man, we're doing the best we can. You got to give us a break out here," and blah, 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 blah. And he just starts laying into me.
Wow.
And I didn't even say anything. I just kind of looked at him, and I'm like, "Have a nice night." And I just went in the house. But I thought to myself, man, that's a guy he's had a long day.
Yeah.
And he probably needs somebody to tap out and take his place.
Yeah, that sucks.
But also, what a dick. Like, why would you do that? Just keep going. Just keep going.
Anyway. Man. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been a while.
Oh
It's been at least 2 months. It's been since before Christmas. Thank you, Mr. Gabe Casey. Elon Musk wants to build a dirty 2-nanometer chip-making fab where you can smoke and eat cheeseburgers in. This is from Anton Shiloh from Tom's Hardware. Elon Musk this week said that the chip-making industry needs clean rooms in the wrong way. The head of Tesla and SpaceX promised that once Tesla builds its own 2-nanometer capable fab, which means fabrication company,
Thank you.
he would eat a cheeseburger and smoke a cigar in that fab. "I think they are getting clean rooms wrong in these modern fabs," said Elon Musk in an interview with Moonshots. Is that a porn magazine? What is that?
I don't know.
I'm going to make a bet here that Tesla will have a 2-nanometer fab that I can eat a cheeseburger and smoke a cigar in the fab. When asked whether Musk had stretched a Tesla fab in his mind or whether he had found a way to protect silicone wafers from cheeseburger grease, he responded that all wafers should be contained at all times. They must maintain wafer isolation the entire time, Musk said. Man, I beat Gabe again on this. I need longer articles.
Wafer isolation.
Waffle thin?
Yes.
It's just a waffle thin.
Oh, I couldn't.
Bloop. There we go. Good enough.
That was our moment of Musk.
That was our moment of Musk.
Cheeseburgers and cigars, huh? Is that a good combo?
I mean, I guess I understand the amount of sanitary things they probably do to make a clean room, and it probably costs a lot more to process and to make everything because you're making everything so clean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can have a way, it's kind of like now I watch these videos of guys. I must have done something one time where I got a screen protector and I watched a video because now everybody shows me where they like throw like gravel all over their screen. And they put this box over the top of it and then pull the screen protector thing. I'm like, look, you could have sewage all over your phone and now it's brand new. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, but why do I have to buy this whole plastic protector thing to surround the phone with?
Yeah.
Yeah. And somehow you did all that for $20, which I still don't understand, the logistics of how much plastic everything cost. Maybe Elon watched too many of those videos. I don't know.
I think that's an answer to a question nobody asked, but also it's still kind of cool.
He thinks big, bud. He thinks big.
Is it? I have lots of images of people. I've seen some of those documentaries on like Intel and how
they wear Tyvek suits and
sticky stuff on the floor.
Can you imagine working in one of those all day?
No. That's what I was going to say. Is like I get all pissed off when I got to like wear a nice shirt for work.
Right.
I got to dress up and wear like pants you have to press, let alone walk through like 3 airlocks to get to your workspace.
Right.
I don't know. I also now want a cigar and a Five Guys hamburger. I think that's wrong, but that's what I want to do.
The fact that the titan of industry, the man who's going to be $800 billion man here pretty soon, worries about eating a cheeseburger and smoking a cigar. He's not nearly as concerned about his health as that guy that had the Netflix documentary. He's trying to do everything possible.
Injecting his kids' whatever into him.
Exactly.
That's weird.
Anyway.
People are just weird. That's the operative takeaway here.
They are weird, absolutely.
Speaking of weird, we're normal.
Oh, no, we're totally weird, Daryl.
What?
Sometimes we pass cars back and forth. Sometimes I even post on Facebook and I tell everybody, tell my wife to let me bid on this car, because I'm just a beat-down weenie who can't buy a car himself, even if it is $5,000, right?
Desperate. Not true.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Cars of the Week is where Daryl and I, we come down to the bunker, the Studio A, and we talk about dream cars that our wives will never allow us to have. And this, I think, looking at your selection, I think you and I possibly could have actually pulled these off somehow in another alternate reality.
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't see you and Sarah in yours, but you'll tell me all about it.
Okay.
Cars of the Week. We perused the internet. We found the best, sometimes the worst, so you don't have to. And what do I got for you, Daryl? I got a Toyota. I'm pretty predictable here.
Your virtual garage looks like your actual garage. What'd you pick?
I owned a 1993 Celica in my life. It was convertible. It definitely wasn't all-track, but I did find, I don't know why, Bring a Trailer they send these emails all the time, and this one came up because I have a Celica filter and Bring a Trailer. Every time a Celica pops up.
Of course you do.
Bring a Trailer is genius. Just put the filter in the car you want, and next thing you know, every time a Celica gets posted on Bring a Trailer, you'll get an email notification. And this time I got a 1991 Celica GT4 RC, and the car is just flat out gorgeous. It's out in California. It was imported here a couple years ago. It's a right-hand drive, limited production version, and it's I don't want to read the whole ad here. It was sold new in Japan. It was imported to the U.S. in 2021. It's finished in the gray metallic over the blue pattern cloth. I had that blue pattern cloth in my 93 Celica.
It's a good combo.
It's okay.
The color combo on that car is slick.
Yeah. It's a turbocharged 2-liter inline-4 linked with a 5-speed manual transmission and an all-wheel drive system. Torsion-limited rear differential engagement includes disc brakes, 15-ounce Oz Racing wheels, which the Oz Racing wheels actually drug me in on this thing. I am all about those white wheels. If I could get those for any of my Celicas, oh, mama. That's got the Momo steering wheel, because that's standard equipment for anybody who's got a Ricer, right? And the power adjustable seat, that's not normal. Actually, those things are all manual seats. I'm actually shocked by that. Climate control, power windows, mirrors, locks, Kenwood stereo, which doesn't surprise me. They ripped out the Toyota one and threw that in. It's got Bluetooth, baby. And it shows 143,000 kilometers. That's 89,000 miles. That's actually pretty strong, but that means the car's been driven, so I love it. The color's great. It's it's just a good-looking car, and I really have a sweet spot for the handling and the size of these cars. They're not small. They're not big. I mean, they are small by today's scale, but realistically, when a guy like me hops in one of these things, they still feel like there's enough room to we drove them to Florida all the time. We drove our older Celicas like 20 hours. For Ange and I.
Yeah, still comfortable on a long trip.
Enough space kind of get around. And these had these cool sports seats that had like this, at the time, kind of looked like a Tron interior. So right-hand drive, I could deal with it. Stick shift, totally want that. All-wheel drive, oh man. The Momo wheels, though. I think the Momo wheels just have me like drooling on this car. So I'll post a picture of this one online on our page. And I think if you go to Spotify now, you can actually see pictures too in there if you look through our description. So I want it. I'm not getting it. Its current bid is $8,600. It's got 5 bids. I told Daryl earlier, I think, I could be way off this. I've been watching this market, but I think this might get close to 20. Today as we're recording the show, Bitcoin's falling over itself, gold's dropping. So I'm wondering if funny money that people have to spend on stupid stuff is going to be dropping. What if this thing went for 16 or 17? I was
going to say,
it wouldn't meet reserve. I don't think it would meet reserve. I think this is going to be a 20 grand reserve, But again, I'm shooting off the hip because I've been watching these cars, so I'll be interested to see where it goes.
This is a nice, clean example. And like you said, I almost prefer something that's clean with more miles on it because it's not something that's sat in somebody's collection.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get it, put some miles on it, stuff's going to start going. This looks like it's been serviced, it's been maintained, loved on. Let me ask you, this is not the only one that you've been interested in. You actually put bids on these before.
I did. And so Bring a Trailer, I think, made it actually a little bit harder to put bids on. I would still go through the credit rating thing if I thought I was going to buy a car on it. But it used to be on Bring a Trailer. If you had a credit card or you had an account, you could register. And I've done it. I accidentally almost bought a car years ago, and I had a panic attack because I lost it by like $100. I knew my wife would kill me.
She's like, just lucked out.
I honestly, in my mind, I think just getting a car from Japan and getting a car might be easier in some ways. But no, I would register and bid on this. But there was kind of a fun thing to be like first to bid on some of these things over the years. This one is a very nice example, and I'm not going to bid a $500 bid just to sit there and watch it because it's an insult.
Just a troll.
Yeah.
231 horse in these things, what they were rated at the factory. 230 Turbo 4 in that era, pretty respectable.
Yeah, well, all-wheel drive and a manual. You're gripping and going. It's fun.
Yeah, it's probably a good balanced car. Have you ever driven a GT4?
No.
Were they pretty rare here in the States?
I take that back. We had a customer with one. God, that's one of those sad stories where a customer offered it to me. But the floorboards were rusting out. And this was when I was younger. I'm like, I don't want a car with rusted floorboards. But I don't know and so I passed and they sold the car. And I look back, I'm like, probably could have fixed that. But I didn't want anything to do with it. And anyway.
A different point in your life, too,
yeah,
probably.
And actually, I still, why do we need anything, Daryl? Why do I go to the store? Why do I go to the store and buy anything? Because I want it. Why do I need this trinket? Why do I need this little shiny thing? This is definitely a big shiny thing for the garage. But do I need it? No. That's not Cars of the Week. Don't ask me questions like that.
No, the logic doesn't really factor into these. I mean, that's secondary or tertiary at this point. I feel like I remember only seeing maybe one or two of these when I was younger growing up. And where I grew up, if you had a fun four-wheel drive anything, it was so you could daily it in the wintertime. And I have a feeling that any of those cars that survived in the Midwest were either garage queens or imported from somewhere else where they didn't have salt.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had, because they had the Celica, prior to that, was it called the All-Track?
Yeah.
Is there like an 80s one?
Well, I think the Americans were always called All-Tracks.
Okay.
This RT thing it's a Japanese thing. This car has 200 pictures.
It's really, here's the other
Oh
part.
my God, dude, this sounds like a brochure.
If you want to hype your stuff up on Bring a Trailer, do what this dude did.
Yeah.
And he's got like studio photography.
God, yes. This
Thing
car
looks great.
It does. I don't know why he just didn't throw a license plate frame out, though. He's got those gaping holes where the plate goes. It kind of actually takes away from it.
Detracts a little bit.
It does. It's such a good looking car. And again, those white Oz Racing wheels have, they're nothing standard about those. Those weren't factory, but they
look
just look
perfect.
great. And they tell everybody this isn't a normal Celica. You can see the hood scoops on it, but most people won't walk up that and know anything. But those wheels tell people I'm capable. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a little something different
Yeah.
here going on.
Yeah.
Well, when the car sells for $12,500 and you kick yourself, I'll
I won't.
let you know.
I won't. But man, it's a cool car. I think the funny thing, we talked earlier on the pre-show about like cars depreciating because they're like falling out of the wheelhouse of the people that are interested.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if some of this Japanese stuff that's like super hot right now, if it doesn't cool down in the market like in the next 5-10 years.
Probably.
And then next thing you know, you're seeing this car for like $5,000 somewhere,
Yeah.
That
No, I could see that happening because it wasn't that long ago where you could pick a nice one of these JDM imported
$8,000.
8,500 all day.
Yep. Yep.
Because I remember when you were bidding on them.
Yeah. No, I watched them, and I've watched them. You could buy the newer GT4s, even a top of the line GT4 from like 1995. I think I saw one like the most pristine example, and it went for like 18. And that car was the nicest damn car with a huge spoiler on the back. I mean, it was dressed to the gills, and I'm like, that's still a pretty decent number for that. The car had low miles. It was a mint. And that was the highest I'd seen them back then. But yeah, you're right. You could get these older ones all day long for under $10,000.
So anybody that wants one probably has one.
Yeah.
And that's what this one. I still think this is a good value. You would pull into any kind of a cruise in,
Yeah.
and people would crane their necks because, like you said, it's different enough,
Yeah.
but it's subtle. I like it because it's not white or red or bright, flashy colors.
Yeah.
This thing you could kind of slip in and out,
Yeah.
and just
And I could probably get most everything I need as far as seals and axles and everything I need. Tearing down the 2-liter, I might be able to get all the parts for it. Nobody's going to deal with that turbo, though. So if that turbo's leaking, which I doubt, if this guy's got a million pictures, I'm flipping through the engine.
I'm trying to think of those things. Would it be like the transfer case and stuff? That'd be a little like one-off weird stuff. Or
No, we had sometimes we'd have the bumpers. The motor on the rear differential. There was like a rubber casing. Those would go bad, and so those cars would like make popping noises and stuff back there. But if you
kind
change
of rear
that out-
suspension.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no, on the differential, the drive line,
Oh,
you could
okay.
get like a thumping when you're coming out of gear. But he doesn't. I'm looking for under the hood. I still hate the shifters on these. They're very round and for Toyota having a sports car, the shifter is like the lamest thing in the world. Very blasé.
Interesting.
Yeah, this car, that engine's pretty clean. Okay.
Yeah, all the pictures I loaded
Yeah,
look
wow.
pretty
No,
nice.
I'm not seeing oil-soaked anything anywhere. So anyway, that's my car of the week, Daryl. I'm, as usual, I'm very predictable. But when this came across my plate, I had to run with it. Now that said, Daryl Scott pulls up a car, and as predictable as I am, you are unpredictable, my friend.
Sometimes.
You have gone like a direction I've never seen in the history of Throwin Wrenches podcast.
Yeah. I blame this on my Uncle Don. My Uncle Don had an 83 or 84 Rabbit GTI. He actually had two of them growing up. My Uncle Don had all kinds of cool stuff. And I remember as a kid, we went to go pick up pizza or something one night. And I jumped in the car and ran some errands with him and stuff. And I remember flying around Elmhurst, Illinois in this 83 Rabbit GTI. It was a little black thing and had the Recaro seats, the kind of the maroon and navy. And I remember just going through the gears in this thing thinking I was going 1,000,000 miles an hour. It probably was going like 35.
Yeah.
But this thing was crazy. Then in high school, my good friend Clint had, his dad technically had it, but he would drive it from time to time. Same thing, 84, 85, black, 4-speed. This thing cooked. Maybe it was a 5-speed. This thing cooked. And I remember it was the smoothest shifting stick I've ever driven, seen. I mean, this thing was awesome. The only downside is that one was a little long in the tooth, and it would actually get hot. The fuel pump relay would get hot after you drive it for a while, and it would shut off. It's like a thermal overload or something, and then you had to wait for it to cool off. I remember we went to go get lumber or something at Home Depot. With this lumber sticking out of the back of the hatch. It was a hot summer day, and we'd flog the thing. We'd get the thing pretty warm. And we're in the Home Depot, get some lumber, load the thing up, and then we had to wait for it to start. I think we went back in the store, got a soda, walked around, looked like idiots, and then, about an hour later left. But the thing was just a absolute blast to drive. And the fun part is, being a bigger guy and being taller, I fit in the thing. It's German cars, so a lot of the German and Swedish stuff usually you can kind of fit in because they just kind of design them for tall people. So every once in a while, I'll do a search for a VW Rabbit GTI, and I never see GTIs pop up. I only see like the diesel pickups, the caddies or whatever, and that's what seems to pop up in this era. But this thing showed up, and it's actually up in, I believe, the Chicago suburbs.
Sugar Grove or something. Yeah,
something
Sugar
like
Grove.
It's on Facebook Marketplace. It's an 83, which is the first year here in the States we got the GTI. 83 Golf GTI. I'm sorry, Rabbit GTI. Black. And here's the ad. It's one of my favorite ads. Good-looking GTI, hard to fiend, most original, has a swap to a 2.0, no trades, cash on hand, or no test drive. Has some extra original rims, blah, 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 blah. Don't ask if available, you be ignore. So a real friendly seller.
Well, it's Alex Gallegos. I mean, Alex, maybe he's a little straining with the language a little bit.
Well, there's that, but the whole, and you've seen these before, no test drives, no tire kickers unless you have cash. Yeah. You have to show me the cash. Like, do you want to sell the car? This is, it's got some newer alloy wheels on it. It might be from like a Cabrio or it might even be aftermarket. They look pretty good. They fit the car. It's got a big chin spoiler. It looks like original paint or close to it.
Those are aftermarket. The center caps aren't VW. I know
center caps look different. Okay.
Yep.
And this is kind of how most of these GTIs showed up. And it does look like it's fairly clean for the year, but it's non-original motor. I think these originally were a 1.8 or a 1.6. I can't remember. I think they were a 1.8.
That's what you noted in on your show notes, and then I see you got the 2-liter in there.
Yeah, so the 1.8 liter, 90 horsepower, 4-cylinder, and only 105 foot-pounds of torque. These things were geared super high. I think they were like 488 gears. They were a total city car. This thing would be screaming.
Angela had a 5-speed Rabbit Golf, convertible, and that car was a blast to drive. A blast.
Like a go-kart?
Yes.
More fun than it should be?
Yes.
That's one of those that when you look at them, like, what's so special about this? It's kind of a utilitarian. They weren't, they didn't seem very special. I've seen guys autocross these things, and I've seen them do insane, like physics-defying stuff on a tarmac. They are just a really cool car. And, of course, anybody that knows the history, they were kind of the ones that spawned the hot hatch craze here in the U.S. and abroad. The Rabbit GTI, here's something I didn't know. Obviously, being a Volkswagen enthusiast, you probably would know this, but I didn't realize the Rabbit GTI was only made here in the States or sold here in the States 2 years, and then it migrated into the Golf. And then, of course, GTI just became kind of the, I think there was like a Jetta GLI. It was kind of close, and they kind of played around with it. But the Rabbit, to me, is like the GTI, the first gen, was the purest little sports car hot hatch that you could ever get. And just the handful of interactions I had with those things, I thought they were incredibly fun. What I want with the later 2-liter swap, that became a popular thing for a lot of VW guys. They take a newer 2-liter, which is basically like 150-ish horse, drop it in. I guess it's quote-unquote easy-ish to bolt in. And it basically, adds 50-plus horse to the car. Maybe that's fun. I'd still want a more original one, but this thing was clean enough. It was $9,000. I would pull the trigger on this if I could, just to have one in the fleet.
It's not perfect under the hood. The filter looks a little crumbly. The engine compartment's not super clean.
It's a little sus.
I remember Angela's had like this weird coolant overflow tank that mounted to the roof of the top of the hatch or the hood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when you lift up the hood, it looked like these like 6 balls. I noticed this one has one giant ball on the 2-liter engine.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I just shared a picture of what Angela's interior looked like on hers.
Hers was, what color was hers?
Hers was red with a white top, but it had this white cloth interior.
Oh, wow.
That screamed of like a Men Without Hats video or something like that. It's just, it was like checkered.
Yeah, almost like
it's
a
like a Van.
suit.
It's like a Van shoe commercial. It definitely was like, I'm going to go to Chess King. I'm going to get some clothes while I drive my Jetta with the checkered interior. It was something. But
did she have the little golf ball shifter on it? They had like these little dimpled shifters.
Maybe. I don't remember so much on that, but I still look back like we should never got rid of that car. But anyway, it is what it is. It was a fun car. And I tell you what, anybody who drives these little things around, I mean, I think, it was a while back. I was in Colorado. I'm like sending you pictures of a Scirocco, which is basically a sedan version of these cars, right?
Yeah.
Dude, so much fun. How we cannot get back to small cars in this country. When I drove that Renault in Italy, the 3-cylinder with 5-speed, I didn't have to have a ton of power to have a lot of fun in that car.
No.
No. I think we do have interstates and wide open spaces, so maybe this car isn't so much fun in space like that. But around town, scooting back and forth between Tremont and Pekin, or on Knoxville, going up, and talking about going out and getting a cheeseburger out in Dunlap or something like that. Fun.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you could drive one of those things for 2 weeks, a week, without having to fill up. I was thinking, that's the other thing we don't think about. Those older, smaller cars like that, sure, they're fuel efficient, but they got like an 8-gallon fuel tank in them. So, but they're affordable to drive. I think they're a lot of fun. The only kind of Achilles heel in these, obviously, is rust, being anything older.
Absolutely.
But the other thing is all that lovely Bosch fuel injection stuff.
Yeah.
That gets a little weird. I think those have some like braided high pressure lines that run to them, and there's some hoses and things that just look a little different. And if you don't know what you're doing, which I don't in that era, I would have to just take it to
a car
someplace.
that's constantly misfiring or something and just fighting it. Yeah.
Which is another reason why I think a lot of the
But the nice thing is everything's so small, and actually,
True.
Now this 2-liter, when they pop the hood on this one, it looks a little tight. But as I recall, on the one we had, it was pretty. I mean, there's a lot of space. Maybe you got to take some of that top stuff off.
Yeah, it's just like
there's a lot of workspace under there for a small car.
There is, yeah, and they definitely have a following. You can still get parts, obviously, across the world. That's the nice thing about having something like that too, is that not only is it sought after here, and there's some support, but then around the world, there are people that are into these cars.
And when you decide to drive the Pan American Trail all the way down to Santiago, Chile, you can find parts all the way along the way.
When you break down along this side of the road somewhere, godforsaken. No, it's cool. I would love to have something like that. I really like the later Golf, the second gen, where they moved to the Golf platform. I think that's a nice. Are you talking
like the rounded? Dude, those cars were hot.
The round headlights with the little fogs.
They were hot, and I'll give you that. But I swore a long time ago, Daryl, that I would never own another German car. It'll never happen.
Ever?
Ever.
Like line in the sand? You're
even
never going to do it?
Even if Toyota said, we've opened a new manufacturing Bavarian facility, I'd be like, yeah, good for you. I'm never owning another German car. So,
I mean, I've
owned 3 in my life. I've been burned enough to know between head gaskets and bent valves, I'm good.
When you've loved and lost.
But between guys telling me that it's cheaper to go with the Bosch parts than the manufacturer Mercedes stuff, and you're saving money, and you're still spending a lot of money, and you're still having problems, it's just not worth it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But you can have your dream. The Volkswagen, by far, was our cheapest German car I've ever owned. So,
well, maybe there's some hope. Thanks for that pick-me-up, Eric.
No problem. All right. You are 100 minutes deep into Throwin Wrenches podcast, so I guess we probably should kill this thing. We know it's been a little bit of time. Sarah's going to make sure that we record another show extra fast.
Yes.
Extra fast.
Yep.
There was so much news. There's so much going on. We definitely want to share more with you. So thank you for listening. Thanks for being patient. And for Throwin Wrenches podcast, this is Eric.
I'm Daryl.
See you later.